Okay everyone, hello, welcome back. Today I am doing my base routine. This has been requested by a fair amount of people. So some people are going to be really excited and some people are not. Some people really like how I do my base, other people really don't. So if you're going to dislike this video, I would encourage you instead to leave a hate comment, because comments are still engagement no matter what you say, and like just let your frustration out, you know? I mean, that's just my 2 cents, but anyway. So just for reference, I guess, just to start, number one, I have really acne prone, like breakout prone, oily skin. So I do use like a good amount of powder, but I don't never feel like it's overly cakey. I don't know. And I also love a strong cheek. So just for reference, if I turn my lights down, well, that might be too dark, but you can maybe see what my skin actually looks like a little bit better. I don't know. Like that. Anyway, this is what we're starting with here. So typically I start using 2 primers. So I use a mattifying primer. Right now I'm using the Makeup Forever Shine Control Mattifying Primer. Sorry about the construction outside. We're gonna have to live with it for a while. Anyway, this has been my my long time favorite, but they recently reformulated it, so I feel like it's a little bit different. It's still good. But anyway, I just put this in my T-zone, just because I do find it helps to have something that's gonna like control my oil throughout the day. So I just concentrate this in the places where I get the most oily. And then I also like to go in with like almost like a hydrating primer. Not almost, like a hydrating primer, something that's going to give a little bit of moisture to my skin. Number one, I feel like this makes my like base products go on my face better, and it just kind of like levels everything out and helps me like reduce the amount of oil that my skin produces throughout the day. So recently I've been using the Vichy Mineral 89 Skin Fortifying Daily Booster. This technically isn't a makeup primer. I think it's like a skincare product, but I feel like it really does the job of providing like a base of, or like, but I feel like it really does the job of providing like a level of moisture and like just hydrating my skin and prepping it, you know? And then I guess this technically is a primer as well, but then I will go in with like a glowy base, or like sometimes I go in with like a liquid highlighter underneath my foundation. I've been using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion, just because I feel like this provides like just a little bit of extra like radiance to my base without actually being like emollient or actually dewy. And I'll just put that all over my face basically. Sometimes I'll mix a product like this into my foundation, but recently I've just been using it as like a primer essentially underneath my base products. Alright, now I'll go in with foundation. So I'm just going to use one of my like long-standing favorites. This is L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I feel like I generally prefer like a medium. Oh my god, I just squirted that. Absolutely not in my hand. I generally prefer a medium to buildable coverage foundation. Not necessarily super full coverage, but somewhere kind of like just in the middle. And then I'll just dot it all over my face. Honestly, I feel like some people probably are like horrified. I feel like this just provides like an even coverage all around my face. I don't know, it's just been something that I've done for a long time, and it works for me generally, unless the foundation is really like dries down super quick, then I kind of have to work in sections. And I prefer using brushes for foundation. This is the e.l.f. buffing foundation brush, and this is like my absolute favorite foundation brush. It is so, so good. And then after my foundation's all blended in, I'll go in with a damp sponge and just go over everything. I find that this just like really helps melt my foundation in and gets rid of any like brush strokes or any like excess product or anything. And I'll typically use like a pump of foundation, unless the pump is like really small or the foundation's really light coverage. A pump I find is usually good for me. So then I typically just like let my foundation sit. Normally I'll do like my brows and my eyes and then come back to my face once like the top part of my eyes are done. That's just kind of the way, I don't know, that works for me. But right now I'll finish my entire base, but I will just do my brows quickly and then be back to finish up. Okay, so my brows are on, and now I'm going to go in with concealer. Today I'm going to use the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. I put this in the trendy placement of concealer under my eyes and just around my nose and my chin. You know, like conceal wherever you want to on your own personal face. And then I always, pretty much always, use a sponge to blend my concealer out. And then also go over any blemishes or any like thing that I have. I have tons of acne scarring, so I do typically do like a light coverage of foundation, and then I'll go in with my concealer and use that to kind of like pinpoint wherever I feel like I need more coverage. I don't know. Some people don't like to or don't feel the need to conceal like acne or like scarring or anything like that. It's not that I feel the need to, I just feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I just want my skin to look better. But, you know, do whatever you are comfortable with and what works for you. Also my jawline, because I have tons of acne scarring there as well. And then there are certain places, like certain areas that just are like really red, or if I have like active breakouts or anything, I will go in with my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer and just use that to like spot conceal, just because there are areas, like large areas of my face that have like a lot of acne scarring, so we'll kind of like go in with concealer like over that general area. We love the construction. And but then I'll go in if there's any like very specific areas that need to be concealed. And this area on my nose, like my nose is looking really bad recently. It's just super cold out, and my skin has been like just really dehydrated, so honestly no foundation's gonna look good on that. And then once my like base is good, like the coverage, I have the coverage that I want or whatever, then I'll go in with my like liquid cream product. So I've been using a liquid contour, the KVD Beauty Liquid Gel Contour, and I will put this on my cheekbones. I do like to contour because I have a very square face, and frankly, my face really fluctuates with like slight fluctuations in my weight. I like gain a lot of weight or lose weight in my face. And sometimes, like now, my cheekbones disappear. And I don't know. This is one of those things that I guess like brings me more confidence just to like have more shape to my face. So I do contour, and so I'll pretty much just put that like on my cheekbones, a little bit on my forehead, and then my jawline, although my jawline contour never really looks great, I will admit to you. And now is the point where I'll go in with any cream bronzer that I'm using. So right now I'm using the Danessa Myricks cream bronzer in light, and my favorite brush to use with this is the Wet n Wild like angled brush. I don't know, it's affordable and it works well. And I'll just go in like the high points of my face where I would put like my powder, bronzer. So I bring it like basically right across like the center of my face, like pretty high up on my cheeks, and then on like the sides of my forehead basically, and around my temples. And then I'll also put that like on my nose and on my the sides of my nose, again where I typically put my powder bronzer. And then I'm just going to go back in with the brush that I use for foundation and just pat over the edge of my jaw contour, or pat over the top, I guess, just because it can be aggressive sometimes. Now I'm going to powder. So I typically go in with a loose powder first. My favorite is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. And I do bake in the areas that I find I get oiliest, and I do genuinely think that it helps with like wear of my foundation and stuff. So I guess I actually probably don't need to go underneath my eyes, but I do. And I also go like right near my nose, like on my cheeks, like right by my nose, because I get really oily there. On my chin, in the middle of my forehead. And then I also will go in under my jaw, which is not for oil, but I find that this just, I don't know, helps create the illusion of cheekbones a little bit more. And then I really don't leave that for very long. Maybe I'll like have a sip of coffee, wait for the rumbling to go down. Lovely, lovely. And then I will take like a glowy powder. So I just have been using my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the hopes of using it up, but I don't think I ever will. And then I'll just brush all that powder away. I just find doing this helps like make the areas that I put all that powder look a little bit less powdery, and I don't know, it kind of makes like it a little bit smoother. And when I do my jawline, I'll just brush over the top of like where I contoured, just so it's not so stark of a line. And then I'll go in with a pressed powder all over my face. I don't know, I just prefer using a pressed powder on like the main areas of my face. I've been using the Rimmel Stay Matte. It's a really beautiful, actually affordable powder, but I would like to use something with a better shade range. So I don't think I'll repurchase this. And I just put that in all the areas that I didn't put the loose powder. And then, I know it seems like a lot of powder, okay? But I promise it'll be fine. And let's see. And then I'll go back in with the Hourglass powder and I'll go over my entire face. This just, again, is like, provides a little bit of like glow and luminosity to my face while still being a powder. And I really love how it makes my skin look. And I don't feel like it adds too much like powderiness at all. So now I'm gonna use my bronzer. I've been trying to pan my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm on my way there. Oh my god. And then I'll basically put this over all the areas that I put my cream bronzer, and I like to do a combination of cream and powder because I feel like I can just work in thinner layers of both, and then I don't have to spend so much time just like piling on all the powder bronzer over top of all the powder that I've already put on my face. So that's just personal. Then go over my nose. Also put this on my neck. And then I will take a little bit and just tap this on the bottom of my face. Because sometimes it can look like I have a white beard, which some people don't think I realize, but I do. So sometimes, you know, some days it's worse than others, but I'm also not trying to like make my face a darker shade. So I try to be careful of that. And now I usually spray my face with whatever setting spray I'm using. Right now I'm using the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. I really like it, although the sprayer is quite squirty. And then once that spray has dried, I will go in with whatever sponge I'm using. No, I'll go in with my sponge and just pat over the top of my face. I feel like this just helps like kind of mesh everything together and gets rid of any like potential squirt marks, you know, that might be on your face. And typically this is the point where I'll go in with highlighter. If I'm using like a Fenty Diamond Balm type of product, I will go in with that after blush, but generally I will always put highlighter on before I put my blush on. I find that it really just like helps meld everything together. So why not use all my faves today. I'm going to use Benefit Cookie today. And just go put this on my cheekbones. I'll also bring this a little bit on the apples of my cheek as well. And then on my temple. And then I'll go in, and then I'll put this on my forehead, like right, I guess, above my brow. And then I'll use my finger and put this just on the bridge of my nose. I don't like to highlight the tip of my nose, but I mean, go off if you do. Do you. And then on my Cupid's bow. And then let's use my one and only favorite Pat McGrath blush today. This is the shade Divine or Desert Orchid. And then I like to use like kind of a small brush. This is like a highlighting brush. It's I think a Morphe FM510. I just feel like it helps me with having a more precise placement. And then I will. This is the controversial part, okay? Not everyone loves as much blush as I do, but that's okay. You don't have to put as much blush on. And then I'll put this, I'll basically drape my blush. If I'm not wearing eyeshadow, if I'm doing this before eyeshadow, like today I'll put this like also in the outer corner of my eye. And I try to concentrate it like right in this part of my face, like the outer part. And then I will also take this on my nose a lot. Put this on the center and then on the like bridge. Well, this is the whole bridge, isn't it? Just on the bridge of my nose. And then I'll pretty much take that like up into like my eye bags as well. And then I'll also take a little bit and put that on my forehead. And a little bit on my chin. I feel like it kind of just like melds my face together and like kind of makes the blush a little bit more believable in a way. Like I don't know. I just feel like it looks a bit better to have it a little bit on my chin and my forehead, just to kind of like bring my face, make it a little bit more cohesive. And then that's pretty much it. Now I'm just going to take some Freck and do some freckles. I actually do have natural freckles. If I can find it, I'll put a picture up of like what my natural freckles look like. They're just like they're just splotchy. That's the best way I can say it. And honestly, usually they're covered up by my foundation and you can't see them in like this lighting anyway. It really like washes my freckles out. Again, this is probably going to be a controversial step. And sometimes they can look a little polka dotty, but whatever. I don't know. I like them. And this step has never been about necessarily making my freckles look natural. But also, if you don't want to like buy a fake freckle product or anything, on days where I don't do my makeup for like Instagram or YouTube, or if I'm not like going out, like if I'm just doing my makeup to stay at home, I will go in, why do I keep saying that? It's so annoying. Take a warm brown eyeshadow and use like a little brush like this, like an angled liner brush. This is a Sephora Pro Bent liner brush. It's really, really good, actually. And just like dot them on and pat them out with my finger, and that I feel like actually does look a lot like my natural freckles. So I honestly think that that is a very good way to do fake freckles as well without having to buy a $37 freckle product. And I pretty much concentrate my freckles like right in the center of my face, like on the bridge. On the bridge of my face, just in the center. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Which is where I get most of my natural freckles anyway. Well, actually, I get my freckles kind of everywhere. And then I'll also put them like on my forehead, just kind of whatever I'm feeling. But I do like to have a good amount of fake freckles because why not? Like literally, why not? Alright, and that is my base routine. My base routine is pretty set, like I don't really change it up that much other than changing up like the products, but this is like the basic way that I do my base every day. So I'm gonna do my eyeshadow and then come back to conclude this video. But you know what? I actually forgot to show you what it looks like in dimmer lighting, so let me do that now. So I hope you can see, but this is, I'm gonna get, actually, instead of getting close to the camera, act like you know what you're doing. This is my skin. This is what it looks like. That might be too dark. Let me turn it up a little bit more. So this is what it looks like IRL, as IRL as you can get. So I don't really feel like it looks overly cakey or anything. Like it's not like showing my skin through my base type of deal, but it doesn't look overly heavy in person. Okay, and this brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was enjoyable or helpful for you. This look I did film. It will be in a 4 looks 1 palette using the Beauty Bay and Jade palette. That will be coming later this week. Yeah. Let me know if this was like an actually helpful video. I've seen like more and more requests for it, so I just thought I'd do it. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. Like I like a strong base. I love a strong cheek, but at the same time, like I never feel like my makeup looks overly heavy or anything, and this does last me like a good amount throughout the day. I may have to powder depending on, I don't know, what foundation I'm using or whatever, a little bit in my T-zone, but like usually my makeup lasts really well and I feel like it looks good. This is how I like my base to look. I'm definitely not a au natural, barely there skin tint type of bitch, but you know what, to each their own. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would love to see you in my next one. Bye!